Greetings, everybody. Now that marijuana is legal in Canada, maybe I should rethink the whole idea about not smoking foreign ganja, because I could just come on here and just light up the thing. This is the hook. I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to get into today's message. Some time back, I always reflect, because if you don't understand the past, you don't understand the present, you don't know what you're going to do going forward. Some time passed. I met a man. He was my neighbor. Lived right across the hall from me. I could stay at my door and look straight into his living room. He could stay at his doorway and look straight into my kitchen. So just across the hall from each other. This man had two women. He had a baby mama and he had a girlfriend. His baby mama didn't have her landed status. So the Canadian government said she had to go home. She was sent home and he kept their daughter together. At the time, the girl was about 3.5 years old because she wasn't in school yet. And I moved shortly after she was sent home. I became their neighbor shortly after she was sent home to her country. She was from Barbados. And I saw this man, and at the time, he was an older man. So was she. She had a bunch of older kids before she had this last child, So they sent her back to her country, and he was left raising this little girl. And at the time, he looked like he was about 55 or maybe a little older than that. So I would see her, going out with him in the morning. Early morning, they'll go for a walk, and she'll be eating chips, and she'll be eating drinking Pepsi. And I'm like, that's too early. She'd be with her chocolate bar. And you could tell that's a daddy that really loved his daughter, but he just didn't know how to handle her nutrition. So I would give him advice, tell him what kind of things to pick up for her that would be more healthy, and I would comb her hair for him. When the mom came back, long and short of the story is, one day I said to him, listen, I can't tell you what to do. You are an adult man and you like having more than one woman, but sometimes a man has to step up and do what is right. And this is the child's mom. She needs her mother in her life. So although you have a girlfriend that help you out sometimes, you need to bring the mama back. And it's not like they weren't together. They were together. And so I said to him, you have to do the right thing. Someone's going to get hurt regardless, but it shouldn't be the child. So he did the right thing. He got married and he brought her back. When she came back, she came to my door and she knocked on the door and she said, thank you. Because I think he told her that I encouraged him. But not just that. She said, thank you for helping out. I see how you comb her hair. And he told me that you've been helping. There was also some health issues with this child. And I really took it on as a mother. I took it on. And that's another story I could share another time. But she said thanks. She was thankful. And so from time to time, she would come to my door. Now, I have a problem with people coming into my household because I talk to you about energies. I talk to you about people bringing whatever they bring with them until I know you very well. I don't really want you in my house. I'm going to tell you that right here, right now. So spoke to her at the doorway, very civil to each other. And, continued. She would ask me to watch her kids sometimes if I'm home on a weekend and she had to run out and so on. Her husband also used to assist me with my kids. Like when I had to work late or whatever, his girlfriend, his other woman would sometimes pick up my kids from the daycare and keep them until I get home. So we had this really good relationship, a Jamaican man, and another Caribbean woman. And the other girlfriend was also from the Caribbean as well. Big, happy family. Now, here's the thing that is going to lead into today's message. One day she knocked on my door and she says, I got to show you something. I said, really? She says, yeah, come to my house. Well, of course, because I don't want to open that door, that Pandora box where I'm coming to your house and you're coming to mine. I stood at the doorway. And when she opened her door, my jaw dropped open. Her household was a replica of my own. It is as if someone took a picture of my place and put it in her. She changed the color of her wall. She painted the same color as my own. She changed her furniture, threw out her furniture that she had in the house, and she went and bought the same sofas that I have, same color. She bought the same coffee table. She bought the same TV stand, and she arranged it the same way I did mine. So the times when I would open my door just to talk to her at the doorway, she was taking a photograph of my living room. Listen, when I saw it, it was scary. I was scared. I didn't know what to say to this lady when I saw her house. I left feeling really freaked out about it. And then I started telling myself, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Obviously, she likes my style. Now, the only thing that was different from in our house, the only thing I had that she didn't have, was a painting that I bought in Europe. And obviously, she could find it. I'm sure she would have had it. And for the longest while, I tried to figure out, is she just she just likes my style? Or is she just someone who, you know, appreciates nice things and doesn't really know that she could get the same things, but she could make them in a different color? I mean, they're identical. And as Jamaicans, we always talk about bad mind. Every second you hear bad mind in the song. Every second you hear other persons talking about people bad mind them. And I'm here to say in this message today that we're overusing the word bad mind. And sometimes I'm getting I give people a side eye when you hear them talking about people bad mind them. Sometimes I have to wonder, what do you have that anybody should bad mind you for? What's so special about you? Now, if I think about someone who could say that people bad mind them, I think of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, not just because he's a billionaire or because he's the president, but someone who can grab somebody by the crotch, grab them by the Uzi, and don't get in trouble with it. That's a guy who can say you bad mind me because he's able to do some really terrible things in the world and still have respect. He's untouchable. That's a person. I think Bill Gates can say that people bad mind him because the man is mega rich. Okay, and when I say mega rich, I'm just being very, you know, calm with it. It's not everybody who disagree with us or we have a little, you know, conflict with us that we can say bad mind. What you have? Tell me. Because if you own a house, it doesn't matter if it's a mansion, as long as the bank owns it. It's not yours. If you drive a car off the lot and you have a car note, it's not yours. Why am I going to be bad mind against you for the car that you don't even own? The house that you're paying for, you might not even live to finish paying for it. You understand me? So you see a lot of black people running around and the little thing they have with anybody, they start talking about bad mind for what? What a person bad mind you for? What? Sometimes people might imitate you. You know, there are people who come on my channel and friggin' take every damn topic that I do that is worthy of talking about. And you see, they do it and they would never ever say, hey, you know, I got this from Jenny Wren. Hey, you know that I was inspired by so-and-so. So they would never do that. They parrot your topic and think, I'm not going to say they're bad mind. No, I'm going to say, well, you know what? I'm glad that this is important to me. And I'm glad that this topic is something that I'm talking about and I don't have the audience and you have the audience carried there. I don't think that person is bad mind of me because they took my thing and I'm going to cry about them pirating because people do that a lot. Some topics are worthy of mentioning by many, many different persons. The more people talk about it, the better it is because everybody has a different approach. Everybody has a different way of presenting that story and based on their audience. Some people are more academic, so they want someone who's able to break it down academically. Some people are street, so they want someone to give it to them street. Some people are posh, they want it posh. Some people are just down to earth, raw. This is a beauty. We all bring different things to different places, to different avenues. Do you understand? And it's not everything we have to run out and say, people bad mind us. It's just it's so annoying. Because I'm thinking, if you really think about bad mind, that means you got something that I want. What is it you got what I want? Huh? What do I have that you want? Because anything that I have, you can achieve that too. And anything that I do, there's nothing that anybody else does that the other person cannot do if they put their shoulder to the wheel and if they work hard and they try hard. So the whole thing is we get up in our feelings even before we come out of the gate, even before we see true prosperity and true wealth, which is not just material things, it's health as well. Understand? So some people just want to ride a horse all by themselves and want to see everybody else be foot soldiers. So if the person sees my content and like it enough and present it in a bigger audience, I'm honored by it. I'm honored. I've done videos before when I've heard Prime Minister use my words verbatim. Her way of telling me, hey, I hear you. I'm sending you a message, a subliminal message. I feel good about that. Now if somebody else with a bigger platform was able to take that up and run with it, I feel good to myself because I'm thinking, well, you know what? Now the message is going to be out there. I'm going to say he or she's bad mind against me. Stop it. Caribbean people, stop talking about people grudge you and bad mind. You don't got nothing. We're all in this thing like a little slave, all grabbing from the master's table. Until we set up big thing where you say you have a company, you're an African person, and you have a big company and you're employing X amount of people from all over the world, all different races and class of people working for you. Until you're able to change lives, you're changing community. You're able to build other people up. And then you'll see people who don't mean you any good talk bad about you, even though you're doing good. Then you can say they're bad mind. Even these artists, every little thing, bad mind, this bad mind. Get over yourself. Get over yourselves. Some people don't even see you, don't even know you. You're just trying to bring attention to yourself and to your own audience and try to bring some kind of self-worth to yourself, even as you try to tear down other people. Not everybody that imitates you is bad mind against you. Sometimes it's just a form of flattery. And sometimes, you know, it's you inspiring them to do better. Sometimes you provoke that change in other persons, that they want what you got, not because they hate you or because they're bad mind, because you motivate them. Why can't we see that sometimes it's about you motivating others? It's only when you're self-involved and you're a narcissist and you're separatist. It's only that time you think that everything that everybody else does that look like what you're doing is bad mind. Get over yourself. Get a life. Get yourself a nice life. Okay? Because you ain't got nothing for nobody to bad mind about. You don't got nothing. We're all in this thing, groveling and cutting throat and killing each other over foolishness. So what would happen when you're rich? What happened when you're rich? Some of you people that don't got nothing, that love to pretend like you got something, when you get something, I'm telling you, everybody should have to stay away from it because you become an A-H.